students when they're in middle school. And so I would say the satellite day at home needs to be very structured, and you need to provide a lot of accountability for a junior high student, because they don't, their minds are not organized very much, and they need a lot of help with on-task behavior. Okay, so, I think I want you to pray. And I don't know what this thing is doing, but I think they're going to have to get another cord. So I don't feel like it's These colors are really strange up there too, but I'm going to stop it right there for a second. But let me just pray for us. And I thank you for each family represented here, Father. I thank you that you've offered us this university model school structure so that we can be with our kids and still continue to maintain close and loving relationships with them. And I pray that you would give us wisdom as at-home moms, or if the dads are going to help too, just give wisdom so that we train up our children in the way that they should go, and in a love for you and a love for others. And just give us wisdom in our discussion. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so this really at this level is about making sure that as parents we provide an atmosphere at home and a place at home where our students can learn and grow, and where we oversight them enough and provide enough safety and security, like when online, when accessing all the stuff. They will, in 7th through 12th grade, they are required a lot to have access to different things online, to be getting documents, to be posting documents and things like that. So did you guys go to a technology and education session with Dr. Kirkley? You haven't done that, so it might be tomorrow. But we're actually trying to find out ways to balance the requirement for students to be on the internet at home and what that looks like. So I want you to know that that's kind of behind what I'm talking about. Like when we first started giving students CLPS email addresses, we didn't know that they kind of had chat capability between each other, and we just turned it off once we found out sort of that they had that access. So I want to say when they are on the computer, I would always be with them in a place or have the proper safety and security on those devices that they're using. And like at the school, we have a really strong filter and system that we've carefully crafted to make sure that things are good and in order, okay? So I just want to say that before I even start the satellite day at home, okay? So think about yourselves as learners. What kind of atmosphere do you learn in the best? Like if you were to go to the library, would you be the one that goes to the group study place, or would you be in a quiet place with no other distraction? I mean, what would you pick as parents?
Quiet.
You would pick quiet. Would all of you pick quiet space? Okay. So that's not the case for every student, right? Some of them like some music while they're working. Some of you have been homeschooling. This is brought up. You've been homeschooling for a while. Okay, and then have you guys been homeschooling for a while? You?
Yes.
Okay, so is everybody coming from a homeschool situation?
We've done both.
You were doing both? Okay. So you should know a little bit about their habits. Some of you might be coming here because now you have more accountability kind of system in place. Some of you see there's rigor here that you like that'll push your student forward. Some of you see that they can maybe in 7th through 12th grade learn from an expert in certain areas that you might not be experts in. So there are a number of reasons why we're picking CLPS academically. So I'm just really here to talk to you about what kind of environment you're really setting up at home. So do they all have a place to study? That is kind of a designated, this is the way we do it. Some families here, they'll do the kitchen table. Some families kind of have separate desk systems, where their kids are sort of located. So just in providing a good environment home. We've talked about the profile of a graduate a lot. What I want to say is the families that do the best here at CLPS over all these years are those that really make it a school-like atmosphere at home. So they have a routine, they have sort of a schedule set up. You know, like if I'm talking to you and your student's just high achieving and they're intrinsically motivated, I mean, that's one student, but it's more the exceptional student. Most students are going to be somewhere in the middle. That they need a little cajoling and encouraging here and there, right? So the first step in this world is that you, as the supervisory parent, you have to have a mindset of, I'm the mature adult, spiritually strong, emotionally ready for this day at home. You're going to have them on Tuesday, Thursday, and then you have the weekend thing. That's a real thing. They're assigned about half the work on the weekend. And so if they have a full day on Tuesday, Thursday, they're going to have 3 to 4 hours of a block of time on the weekend. So where have you guys thought about where that block of time is going to be for your family on the weekend? Have you considered that? Have you had the conversations? You need to have them and think about them, okay? Some people like a Saturday morning situation. Many times if your students are involved in sports or other things, Saturday morning is not an option. Some people definitely protect the Sunday because that's time where we gather with family, we hang around, we do those things. In our house, Sunday afternoon worked for us. So that's what we did for many, many years. Now, I have one here in 6th grade. She only works Monday through Friday. We do nothing on the weekend. We have protected that time completely. When she starts in 7th grade, we'll have to find the best spot, okay? But Sunday afternoon was a more quiet time. They could focus. We usually would leave 1 or 2 pieces for that time, so we would strategize how we were going to use that time on the weekend, okay? So in saying attitudes of love and humility, for us to do well, I think you guys need to have devotional and quiet time in the morning on your own and get in the frame of mind that I'm going to help my student until I see that they're doing great. They don't really need me. So 11th and 12th grade, I mean, honestly, I expect that person to be a young adult and do what they need to do. And that I'm checking run web, you're turning everything in on time. You're doing very perfunctory sort of, just, hey, how's your academic advising class going? Are you feeling, are you working on your essays? Are you working on your applications? You know what I mean? So it's more of a nice whatever. 9th grade, freshman level, that's different. The classes have increased in rigor from 8th to 9th grade. They're going to need some more support initially, okay? 7th, I would give them support every day until you see a really good track record, okay? So we want to get our supplies and work and filing areas organized. However, we're going to keep those papers. Sometimes the students can figure that out. Sometimes they have no skill in being organized or figuring that out. This is a system we work out of. I'm going to squeeze here. Sorry. This is Emma's place. I use this for my other kids too. I've been using it for like 12 months. I have 3 adult children, so just anyway. Everything is in one place. We don't run all over the house trying to find things. Okay, so glue, scissors, etc. If you're already homeschooling, you probably have a system. Really important that when they get papers back, that you have a system to file, okay? If they're not keeping it in their binders or whatever they have, then you need a place to put things that are graded and returned. Because when you have examinations, when you have summative pieces, that's what we call examinations here, they're summative grades, they're going to be going back to that material and reviewing it for their exams. So if they don't have it with them in their backpack, you need it somewhere where all that history stuff, you can get it out for that unit and study it. So keep everything, don't throw anything away. I mean, I know kids, when they get done with the semester, my wonderful graduates, they might just chunk all that stuff out because they're so happy they're done with it. Catherine says, no, I keep You kept all yours? Good. Okay, so they appreciate their hard work more. Okay. But file everything. Don't, especially for the junior high kids, if they can't organize, you're going to have to organize for them. Okay? So this is, this is something from old Container Store. I mean, I don't know. Emma has fun things in there too, but, she puts toys and other stuff in there. But please, get a plan, keep it within, if it's some child that's easily distracted, and you tell them, they need glue stick, you're going to lose 30 minutes of your time, Okay, so that's for littler kids maybe. But some strategies to think about. And at this level, you can sit down and talk to your student. You can say, do you want to go with the schedule that's at school? Like, do you go to English, math, science, history first? What do you do? Let's make a schedule together and have a plan of action on how we're going to handle this. Schedule breaks. Students can only handle so much in their break. It's like you guys today. This has been a way too long day. Okay, you're getting a lot of information. We're trying to be succinct, but kids need breaks. So what can they do on their break? For littler kids, I say go outside, run around, do some things. For them, do they want to go out and shoot hoops? Do they want to read a book they're just enjoying? Do they want to draw? What do they want to do to schedule those breaks? Because cognitively, we can only handle so much. And they're the same. And especially if they're not interested in it. They're not going to love everything they're learning. That's just the reality of life, right? So make sure you schedule breaks. And if possible, you can do parent assignments. And what that means is if you're really good at these subjects and your spouse is great at these things, let them be the one that handles that particular subject. And with Mr. Henry and I, the way we balance Emma out is she does 3 subjects with me, and then she either does history or science with him right now. So that's how we just broken up the tasks. Then I know I don't have to worry about one subject, and we can just offload it right to each other. So if you have that situation where you can support each other that way, do it. Because it will take some of the stress off of you and help the student to get a fresh helper. Okay? And again, they're not going to need help with everything. And I want to say that in 7th through 12th grade, we don't expect the parent to be an expert in these subjects, right? We're just like, if you kind of have strength, you can help them, but we're really trying to provide all the support, resources, all the expertise with the teacher in the classroom. At K through 6, we expect a lot more teaching to occur from parents, but in 7th through 12, we're just assuming you know nothing about earth science, which you might, but you might not, okay? So we want to give you every piece of information and support that you need. The next thing is, where is everything? Okay, this is what I want to say. We already talked about this, but when is work inspected? Okay, really important. When you get the assignment sheet, so not in the older grades, but like 7th, 8th, in there, you'll get an assignment sheet and it'll tell the student exactly, the teacher has crafted the assignment sheet. I really want the parent to know what we need to do. So make sure they don't just say, I already did that. I would never take that answer until I see a regular habit of you're doing this perfectly just as the teacher has asked. And to me, I would get in a dialogue with my student that's 12, 13, 14 before we even start school on Wednesday, right? I would talk with them and say, hey, I'm going to just check everything, make sure, that the details are taken care of. Until you can just show me that it's all good. And you won't have your first sort of summative grade until end of September, probably, 4, 5, 6 weeks in, and then you'll see what they can do independently, okay? And so all of the work that they're doing, all of the practice, all of the problems, all of the writing, they're kind of leading up to this summative grade that says, I can do this. This is what I can do by myself. This is what I know, okay? So once that rolls out, you want to get that first summative piece back and look at what they could have done better, corrections, if it's math, if you need help with the math, just you can contact us and we can talk about that. But you'll see stuff rolling around, and it kind of comes in a wave, like science will schedule and then math will schedule, and it'll all be sort of in that first, 4 to 6 weeks. And it'll come at you and it'll feel kind of fast, but they've been preparing for that, okay? So make sure that they know that you're going to inspect and carefully look at the details until you don't have to anymore, okay? And then reward, I don't know that at this level we need to talk about that. And you're going to file the papers, okay? You make sure you have a place. When I had more than one child, I had just color-coded. Like I would have pink for Sarah, blue for, Chandler, and green for Patrick, or something like that. So, all right. Your role is teacher and leader at home. So during the day at home, when you're doing your schoolwork, your student needs to understand it's still a parent-child relationship, but I'm oversighting this because we're saying CLPS is going to do half the week, and Casada family is going to do the other half of the week. And we're going to all move forward together, right? So whichever family it is, but you have them half the time, we have them half the time. So we need to work in partnership and all move towards the same goal. Okay, so making sure, again, back to the family that does well here, they have an organizational system, they have a good parent-child dynamic, so the child has learned to be obedient and not challenge everything that the parent says. And so if that's something the Lord needs to work on you guys the first year, it just is. The families that struggle more are they wake up late, they kind of hang around together, 3 of them are in the other room playing music. That is the system that won't work here because we have too much expectation, too much accountability in place. It's not gonna, you can't be a hippie family at home during the day. You can be a hippie family at night. Are you guys getting what I'm saying? So you can enjoy each other at night. You have meals together, play games, hang out, do what you like in your own spaces. But during the day, protect that time, okay? Know that on your assignment sheets, remember that what we do is everything that's written, we want to make sure that gets turned into the teacher. But what families do sometimes is when there's review built into the system, like review your math lesson for 15 minutes or review these vocabulary words, and you're not turning it into the teacher, sometimes as families we think, I can just kind of that'll come when it comes. That review time is built in, so you're not studying for 7 hours prior to the first test that comes up in September, right? So it's really a system of careful benchmarks, carefully laying this out so that you're prepared when the bigger thing comes. Okay? So definitely prepare that time. They'll learn something called Cornell notes. Do you guys know that term? Okay, so Cornell notes are a way to take notes and be reflective on the information you're getting from the teacher. So it kind of gives them a column where they can write questions to the teacher and they can think about what they just learned. And they can use this all the way through college, right? This method of taking notes. But it's a wonderful method, and if they're being taught to use this method, it will serve them for the rest of their academic career. Okay, so that will help in preparing for tests and reviewing and stuff like that. Okay, so I've said this. Start with a great deal of oversight. Make sure you're checking RIMWeb daily. When we sort of get into difficult, where a student is struggling, right? The first thing I do as the academic leader in the school is I go to RIMWeb and say, how many late assignments have they had? How many zeros do they have? What kind of grade have they been, each week? What kind of grade are they? How is their grade tracking, right? And a lot of times a parent will come in and say, I didn't know they were failing, but and then I think, but you can check RIMWeb 24/7. So you need to do that at the beginning. Your student will check, but the grades, I posted a philosophy of grades on our parent website, and you guys can look there. But it talks about the fact that one of the ways we can predict how a student may do when they have to do things independently is really how well they've been doing in practicing and tracking all along during the unit, right? So grades, I mean, we use, as parents, we're thinking they'll help them, you know, the grades will help them get into college, right, if they get good grades. But that's not the purpose of grades here, right? One piece of grades is accountability, but the other part of grades, there are 4 major parts, but the other part of grades is how is your student doing relative to the rest of the students in their grade level at this time, right? Are they actually mastering what they need to master in that grade level? So what I would do is check RenWeb every day. That helps you know, is the teacher grading and returning within 1 week as is their professional responsibility? Are you getting feedback on how your student's doing? But then also you can say, hey, it looks like something's pending here. Why does it say, why does it say a P in there? Because it calculates as a 0, but it means the teacher doesn't see that paper in the stack of papers that he or she just received, okay? So just check RenWeb. Make sure you read the syllabus. You will receive a lot tomorrow probably at Parent Mock Day, and read the syllabus, kind of understand the expectation. People don't look at it very much after that, but it really does lay out the plan for the course. Read the assignment sheet for the week until you don't have to. I mean, by the time, with a 12th grader or an 11th grader, by the time they get into a few weeks, you're probably not going to read it. What you're going to do is read it when you have some kind of struggle or when you're worried, all right? So, and really, a lot of the interaction, even when I was teaching chemistry in 10th grade, the students are interacting with me as a teacher, right, through email. And I'm not talking to their parents until I say feedback will come through composition and things like that. But even on a chemistry exam, you could see when they had like a little essay portion, I would make a few notes, like you really didn't address this, you didn't address that, sort of help them with that, okay? And then reminders, your primary relationship is with your teacher first. So you want to start emailing and engaging them. If you feel like some communication is breaking down for some reason, you guys copy me on it anytime, okay? Copy me on the interaction. They are supposed to, their professional duties say they check their email Monday through Friday 2 times a day, and they must respond within 24 hours. We protect their time on the weekend. They do not have to check or respond to email on the weekend at all. And your kids are doing work on the weekend, you see? So there's a thing there. So you kind of need to be ready for the weekend before going into the weekend, right? Okay. And I think that's good. Contact your teacher right away. Like I said, after 24 hours, contact me, which is the academic lead. We'll definitely, the Academic Success Center, you guys were in there, we have Mrs. Molly Shaw. She's a great learning specialist, but she can just help on giving you all kinds of hints and just encouraging you as a homeschooling parent. I mean, she can do so much more than just deal with therapies for learning differences. Okay, she is there to serve and support and help you, and I'll do the same. And then we'll have feedback surveys that come to you guys about homework time, about the kinds of homework. I mean, it's a really quick Google survey. You get on there, you answer 4 questions, you can give your comments. That'll come out probably 4 weeks into the school, and you guys can feel free to, give us your feedback, help us improve how we're serving you, okay? And then if there are safety issues or bullying, I mean, come right away. You've heard that from Mr. Henry, right? If anything goes on, and yeah, kids do that sometimes. So that's it. I'm at 4 o'clock. And I will, whatever you guys want to talk about, I can do that. Yeah? Breaks.
How long do you think they should be?
I think you need a good lunch break,
Okay.
we only give them like 25 minutes for lunch here, but kids need, it'd be great to give them close to an hour, really good, nice, solid, something, brain and lunch break. And then breaks, I think 15 minutes is a break time.
Okay.
I think it's reasonable. I don't think it needs to be longer than that. I would not let it be video games and stuff.
Okay.
If it's, yeah. What does Joshua think about that?
No, I think that's excellent.
Yeah, as much as you can take the tech out of the break time, and allow them to use that in a different way. I mean, definitely running around, if they're runners or they do something athletic to get some of that energy out, they need some way to do that. So if do some of that, I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of my kids more at the junior high age, how they use their breaks. I mean, I feel like they wanted to eat, you know? Yeah, maybe drawing, they would play with each other a little bit because they had more, but now I just have Emma and she's like a single child, you know, an only child, so she does things differently. But anything else?
So is the day pretty much 8 to 3 or 4?
I mean, yeah, that is kind of the way the tracking is. You guys know they have basically 4.5 hours for every subject per week outside of the regular classroom. So that means 1.5 hours for each subject. And then foreign languages, they have 1 hour to every hour in class, so 3 hours for a foreign language. And then many of our electives don't have satellite day work. When they are any in AP courses. Okay. So they have 2 hours per hour, so they have a total of 6 hours. So it basically will take, I would say they need to wake up at an appropriate time and they're going to work till 3 or 4. And, you know, consistent, good work. A lot of the kids, I mean, the older kids will tell you, they work later into the evening, but as a parent, I put a limit on helping my kids, and basically when they got to that level, and I said 4 p.m. is it. I won't look at that paper. You are responsible to get it done. But they like to work. I mean, sometimes they'll want to study for an exam from 7 to 10 p.m. A lot of these kids post stuff at 12 midnight, right? Okay, not her, but he's telling the truth, right?
No, I get up early.
Okay, so I am an early riser, and that is how I work. And my kids knew that. I mean, I just put that limit on them that I don't do stuff later. That's my time. So if you want to, that's fine, but I'm not going to read that 7-page paper at that time. I'm going to read it at 11 a.m. in the morning, so give it to me then. So my kids, I mean, I'm just a matter-of-fact person, though. And they can whine and do all this business, and it doesn't really. But I've been a parent